Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, time to move into our second decade as distillery manager in this Build a Nation story. And in fairness, it should be very different from the first decade. For the first time, we are defending Irish Premiership champions. For the first time, we are in UEFA Champions League qualifying. And for the first time, we're offering professional contracts. It promises to be very different, but we've got some problems. The usual early summer frustrations. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 90 and season 11 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits, with me, Daniel. We're back today to start our second season in charge with our first ever Champions League qualifying game. I'm hoping they play the music for the first qualifying round. And we've also had a bit of luck with the other draws from something I didn't know about, so I'm looking forward to showing you that. We've also had a little bit of transfer work, but it is the usual frustration in these saves. It's hard to bring in players early in the window of the highest level, particularly now because we've turned pro and the wage demands are massively increasing across the board. And as a result, we've got a few big weaknesses heading into this game on the pitch. If you're looking forward to it though, as we come up against Armenian opposition, and of course look at how the other Northern Irish sides get on, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, even if it's just for the fact that we finally turned pro. We'll start with a little bit of transfer news, then a little bit of European coefficient news, and then it is into the first leg of this game, which I'm hoping will not pose us too many problems. Before all of that though, let's go and have a look at our summer so far, because there's been a lot of transfer news, mainly on the outs so far, and there's a few ins pending that might change our fortunes. Let's go and start though with what's been confirmed. So first things first, back to the end of last season, both Jake Cooper, the model citizen, and Barry Bagley, a good experienced pro, they move on from the football club. They're released. I'm not sure if they've gone elsewhere. Cooper is still available on a free, but he is wanted by Bohemians in the Republic. And Barry Bagley, no one's after him yet, so it might be a retirement for him. But those two did play a pretty important role in our rise, and they deserve credit for being part of this football club. But they're not going to be part of it moving forward, nor are a few players that have left the club. We go back to the end of last season, you can see one in who won't be available today, but there's also a few outs too. The first of them, Jim Wood, who we knew was pre-agreed, has gone to Glentoran. He'll go and play there, strengthen opposition in the Irish Premiership. And that's the stage we've got to in this save now as well. Those while they're on semi-pro contracts that we're not going to keep long term, rather than offer them new deals and decide in a year's time, I want to get them moved out to other semi-pro clubs while they can. Colin McCann has gone to Glentoran as well. He's gone on a free, didn't want to stay, so I'm not going to force him into it, particularly given that we've managed to get a certain player into the club. A couple of youngsters out on loan there, and at the start of this season, the first big transfer after turning pro. We did mention it last time in the bookmark, a lot of players' values have increased massively as a result of turning pro. And Robert Burns got an offer from Shamrock Rovers for 60 grand. It also has a sell-on clause of about 30%, and they just came in out the blue with a 50 grand offer. We negotiated it up, it worked all right. We mentioned it in the review, he's an okay player, it's a good squad option to have, but he would have been an emergency backup. And for what we need at the minute, he wasn't going to be happy. So there's no point trying to keep players around of this standard when we can bolster other sides in Northern Ireland or the Republic. I would have liked him to go to an Irish Prem side, but realistically the money's elsewhere. So off he goes, he's made one sub appearance for them already. And then in, you can see one name there I'm very excited about. Now, we saw last year, the best loan options generally don't come up till the end of the window, so we might have to be patient in certain areas. We've lost Hartman, we've lost Akumu, we've kept Ben Parry, which is great, but the other one alongside him now is Duncan McKenzie. He is a centre-half on loan from Everton. He's an 18-year-old Scottish youth international with 3-star ability and 5-star potential. Now, we're going to need better depth in this position anyway. We knew Jake Cooper had gone, and we knew that we were going to need a replacement. So Mackenzie fills that void. He's under 20, so doesn't have to be registered for the domestic league. He will need to be registered for Europe, though. And if we do keep him on loan for 3 years and he does improve, he'll then become homegrown at the club. So a lot of benefits. He's all right. He's a bit of an upgrade on Cooper. He's a slight upgrade on Keane and Jones, who were rotating to start last year. So when he's back, he'll probably be the starter alongside Goss, unless we can get someone better in later. So a decent start to the window, but nothing on our second signing. Neil Daly, I have been chasing now for what? A year? 15 months? From Cardiff Met Uni on a free. We've talked about him many a time. He is the first 4-figure weekly earner at the football club, hopefully joined soon by a few more, but a fairly professional personality, a great centre midfielder. And I'm looking ahead to this season. You've got Morgan Griffiths, you've got Whitehall, you've got Lennon, who we signed in January, and Neil Daly as well. These are 4 quality players, and it means when we need to rotate for midweek games, we've got the option to bring in quality. Add to that, you've still got Sean Daniels there as well. I mean, this is a very good depth in centre midfield. It is a shame that the only good players we can find are all centre midfielders, but he's a good player, and I'm not going to complain about him. Can also cover up front, which might be important today. So he is the big one that comes into the club, but there might be some more very soon. We've had to wait generally for the English players to be released or players from English clubs to leave their posts. But if we look at the transfer centre now, there is one familiar name. Victor Akumu, we have put an offer in for. A stiff competition. 1.2 grand a week we've offered. Walsall won him, Maidstone won him. I think Maidstone were an EFL club, weren't they? We looked at them in the review. I just hope he'll join because he's a big upgrade at right back. At the minute, we're back to Bobby Harvey and Callum Wilson. Wilson's out of contract at the end of the calendar year, and Akumu would be a great starter for us. So fingers crossed on that front. We've also started to look towards the future, and of course we're desperate up front. So the ones that we've gone for at the minute, Tom Curtis is an 18-year-old. Great option on the left wing alongside Varma and Ben Parry if we use him there. But it also means that he'll become homegrown at the club. So that's the reason we've gone for him. But when you look at the other clubs in, Huddersfield, Southampton, you could see why we might not be first choice. Colin Scott is a striking option who we've looked at. He's Northern Irish. He's played loads of games for Cheltenham. And he's a great finisher. Not the quickest, not the best option. If we do need to get someone in, he might be our answer. And then looking up front at 2 others, we've gone for a blind loan for a Leeds player who we're scouting to find out at the minute. And Osim Morgan is a 19-year-old. Great physically, great finisher. But there's a few bits missing in his game. But either way, both upgrades on having nothing at the minute. Because if we have a look now at our squad, we are missing players in certain areas. I'm not yet releasing Kennedy because I'm waiting to get another right back in before I commit to that. We have got Mark Wilson back as a striker, but again, Michael Hatton is the best one at the club, which tells you a lot. And last year, don't forget, when we went out of Europe in qualifying, albeit in a lower competition, we've got a better chance this year. Mark Wilson let us down with missed chances. The midfield, I know we've not got that right winger we wanted, but it's excellent. So if we can get a Kuma in, if we can get a striker in, it suddenly looks a much better summer. And it's a lot more relaxing heading into the season. We are starting to get offers for our players though. Bit of interest in Goss. TNS made a big offer for Neil Kane. And obviously Burns has gone for the money as well. But it's been a good summer and it looks like we're going to get done what we need to on the pitch. Off it, we've had even more good news. You saw that we went professional. Said it was going to take a year. Only took 5 days. The facilities, well, there's more happening. These training facilities here are being upgraded. They're not going to take too long at all. It says the upgrade will be complete before the end of the season. So great to see that we're making strides off the pitch as well. Financially, we're great. Job security is pretty good. And given this round of qualifying, if we get through this, we've only got to win one more tie across 3 competitions. And we've got group stage football. Now on that front, there is a bit of a benefit to what happened in the league with the qualification places. Because I always thought in the Irish Prem that the side who won the Irish Cup took the 3rd qualifying spot from the league. Turns out they take the 2nd. So Coleraine, not Larne or Linfield, are in the schedule as the Europa League team this year, which basically means they're going to get 2 chances in different competitions to get through to the group stages, and they're the weakest side, so that makes sense. For Linfield and Larne, they go straight into Europa Conference qualifying. Now, you could argue that's a bad thing because that means the better sides have got less chance of qualifying, less opportunities to get things wrong. But they're also, don't forget, having looked at the coefficient last episode, both in that sort of top 100, 120 places in the European ladder. So now looking at them, they've got an opportunity to get good draws all the way and be seeded. Linfield have got a great draw in the first one. Larne have got a Welsh side in their one. And if you have a look at the European coefficients now they've updated, of course, as a nation, we're flying. We're up in 22nd place. Next year, teams will go straight into the second qualifying round. And more importantly, if you have a look at the clubs individually and where Larne and Linfield have moved up to, it was even better than we said in the last episode, because Larne are up to 80th in the European coefficients and Linfield are in the top 135. So both of those should get pretty good draws. We'll keep an eye on how they get on. And if we have a look at what they've been doing so far, I'm getting excited for the transfer window because Larne and Linfield have not taken losing the title well. They are pushing big time to get back at us. If you have a look at this year, Larne have signed Dave Rowley from Aston Villa. I mean, he's not the best finisher in the world, but as a target man, 6'8", formidable in the air, an absolutely incredible centre forward for this level. They've also got an experienced defender from Barnsley who's a pretty decent player. TNS have bought someone from them who's not as good, and Linfield have done a bit of work earlier in the summer. Coleraine are signing young players who have been released from Chelsea who are going to be stars of the future. So we're starting to see that move across the nation now, rather than just being one or two clubs. We're probably not going to defend our title with midweek football as well. If we can get in that top two, if we can get group stage football each year now, it could be three sides making waves from the Northern Irish Prem. Our first game is against Pyunik, as you can see, of Armenia. The away leg's probably the trickier one, but I'd expect us to get through. Of course, it's not one of the loaded leagues, so it will be a little bit easier. I would expect us at this stage to be winning it anyway. Now we're pro, now we've gone up half a star. We've definitely got the tools. The question is, will McElhatton take his chances? And what midfield are we going to be picking? Well, here we go. This is our starting 11 for our first ever Champions League qualifying game. And there are a couple of surprises, I guess. First of all, McElhatton has to play up front. We've not got Hartman. I think he went to a championship club in the end. Might have even been Luton Town. But he's moved on. There's no option for a replacement just yet. So he'll start up front. We've gone in the midfield three for Daly to start in that holding role. The first new signing to make his way in. Wilson returns at right back due to Akumu not being here. And I had to play Harley Jones. Anyone who saw the first qualifier last year will know why I've got him in the team. Because he scored 5 goals that day alongside McElhatton. The rest of the team you'd pretty much expect. Great to have Ben Parry here another year. And at the moment, probably the second best striker at the club. And on the bench, we have got a few of those youngsters and returning loan players. Morgan Griffiths does have to make do with a place on the bench, but if you look at the rest of the team on there, Lewis Scott is back from his loan. He is homegrown at the club, which is why he's on there for now. David Aitken, another option to come on up front if we're doing well. And the rest of it's pretty strong. You've got Daniels, you've got Curtis Bell, you've got Griffiths, you've got Varma. All of those would have been regulars at this time last year. So let's go and get into it. It's a big game away in Armenia. If we win this one comfortably, we're essentially one tie from the group stages. Well, here we go then. It is a 4-3-3 for our hosts who, as usual for the non-playable leagues, have 5 outfield subs, 1 keeper and the starting 11. We'll keep an eye on them, having made 4 changes, but we have got to focus on ourselves. McElhatton is back in. He is the superstar. Of course, he was one of the top scorers in the Conference League last year. That on the back of that Sam Marinese qualifier in the first round. This is the Champions League. It'll be a little bit trickier, but I still expect us to be comfortable here. We've had a couple of friendlies, but not everyone's fit. We're up against the defensive side. And for now, although they've got a good attendance in, the Champions League music is here. I'm enjoying the day. I've got to go and listen to it. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's just let it play. Oh, look at it. Look at the players come out the tunnel. The music is with us. The football is here. It's a shame there's not a few more fans in, but neither of us are the biggest clubs in the world. We've got the Champions League ball on the halfway line, and we are ready to go in the biggest stage of this save so far. The first half is live. Didn't see as much pre-match as the Europa Conference there. We've got an early free kick with Puarte. Into the back post. It's headed away to Daly. Williams brings it down for Daly again. Jones challenged. It falls for Whitehall. Just over the bar. Of course, the benefit of being in the Champions League, we're playing on a different night to the other sides in qualifying. Coleraine not into the second round. Linfield and Larne in tomorrow. We'll keep our eye on them. But here come Pyunik, the host. They're playing down the right. The last thing we want to do is fall behind in this game. I'm not expecting any big win like the San Marino one last year. But even if we can get a 2 or 3, just be comfortable. As Whitehall down for Mucklehatton. Where are their fullbacks? It doesn't matter. Mucklehatton finishes himself. It's a brilliant finish from him. But the wing-backs were nowhere to be seen. They're playing deep with their 2 centre-halves, but then the fullbacks aren't there. So the 2 wingers are completely unmarked every time. We've got a bruised knee for Wilson. He'll be all right for now. And similar to last year, if we can get 3 or 4 up, then Aitken can come on and a few of the other younger players as they get the ball at the back. They're still looking competitive at the moment without being great, but they lose the ball on halfway and then they're forced backwards. Jagan gets there, knocks it back, looks forward into the opposition half, and here he comes. Simonyan goes back again though. We're pressing them as soon as they hit our half, and we're forcing them back into their own. We've just got to make sure there's no mistakes, no gaps in that armour back there. As Jagan on halfway again. Very slow build-up, very continental-style game, but Williams nicks it a left-back and he's got space to run into. Inside to Parry and Daly. And this might benefit us now, having the 3 centre-mids and Parry drifting in. As Mucklehatton's released, it's a good save, and we look sharp on the counter. Still only 1-0 with 25 gone. We've not got that same dominance from the set pieces in the air. We've got a very good side, and we're looking good at the minute. As Lennon puts it into the back post, Harley Jones wins one. Just wide of the post it goes, it stays 1. So we're going straight from the goal kick here. Big ball over the top. Jones heads it away to Whitehall and Puarte. We're very narrow at the minute, actually. I'm not sure why we're quite so narrow here. As Daly plays the big ball over. Mucklehatton with a good first touch. Beats his man. And it's a lovely finish again. Almost a carbon copy into the top corner. Neil Daly showing the quality in that passing range there. And they're the sort of players we've got to sign now. We get him. We get a Kumu. We get a striker of that level too. We're going to be a really formidable team this season as Wilson gets the ball on the right, works his way down the line, goes back to Whitehall. This is where we can start to open them up. They're so deep now. They're starting to tie up. We're keeping the ball. We're moving it quickly. And Whitehall finds Daly again. Back to Jones. Into Wilson and Whitehall. We're going to get stronger when we get Mackenzie back as well. Looking forward to having him in there. But for now, it's Jones who plays alongside Goss. He gives it back to him. Looking for that through ball, but they're taking their time. Good passing football here. Daly releases Lennon. He's had a quiet game so far. Releases Williams here though. Chance to shoot. It's over the bar. It's a good effort. It's a dominant display. And it's 2-0 at the half-hour mark. Well, 10 minutes to the break. Pyunik yet to have a shot, but they have got a free kick in our half here and a chance to get it forward. But it's a big hopeful long ball. Not the best headed clearance, but we keep it well. And Goss finds Williams on the left. Inside to Daly. What an influence he's made on his debut. Back to Williams again. We've still got those younger midfielders in. When we were talking about that strength in depth, didn't even mention Tom Robinson. I mean, they're good players in there. Aitken's going to get game time as well, as Parry on the left-hand side. Goes back to Williams. Has options with him. Just play short to Daly and Parry. He comes over halfway to Lennon. Lovely move. He's got space again. The gaps in between their defence is frightening. Lennon gets time to shoot. He curls a perler into the far corner. We know from our short time working with him, he loves a special goal. With 5 to the break, he's got one. It's 3-0. We're going through for sure. And today we can just enjoy our outing. It's a good performance. We'll give it 10-15 minutes. Then we'll bring on a few players, a few of the younger ones. Particularly David Aitken. I want to get him on the pitch. And a few of those other midfielders who need fitness. Farmer, Griffiths, the like. Into the second half. It's been a great performance. Let's just keep it going. Well, in the second leg, we're definitely going to get to see a few younger players because this has been a walk in the park, to be honest. Can we get a few more to make it even more comfortable as Puarte's down the right? Chance to cross low into Lennon. Good save by the goalkeeper. Made a few good stops in this game, in fairness to him. Only 5 gone in the second half. It's been a great display. And Lennon's got a corner. Can we add to it? You know Harley Jones will be at the back post. Parry loses out this time. Another corner. The pressure, the territory, we are camped in. And he just can't get out. It must be so tiring for them. As Lennon gets the corner in again to the back stick. Up goes Goss, can't win it. Headed away to the edge of the box. Can they get it clear? I think they can this time. It should just peter out. It's been a great display. They've not even had a shot. We're just over an hour gone. And our job now really, I don't want to bring too many youngsters on today because the main focus is to be able to start them next week. Give everyone a rest. But for now, let's get on a few players who can make a bit of a difference. Whitehall's building his fitness, so I'll take Daly off because it's his debut. He can get the round of applause. He'll come off for Tom Robinson, the youngster. Lennon much the same. Morgan Griffiths on for him. Parry will have a rest on her left. We'll bring on David Aitken. I know Varma's a temptation, but Aitken's good. And if McElhatton gets his hat-trick, we can maybe take him off as well. I'm looking in defence. Wilson had that knock early on. Let's bring on Bobby Harvey for him. Is Kean younger? He is 24. It doesn't make much difference. So we'll go for those. Not going to worry about Hazeldine today because he's not going to make it here. The last sub, though, I'll tell you what I might do instead. If we take Harvey back off, we'll go Puarte right back. We'll go McElhatton right wing. Aitken up front. Varma on the left. And then further back in the team, we'll bring Curtis Bell on for Williams. Because, again, they're probably quite close. Bell is a good backup player to have. We're 65 gone. 3-0 comfortable. No shots against. We're keeping the ball. We're dominating the football match. And with a home leg to come, we're through. It is a brilliant effort to start the season. It's a dream Champions League debut. And you know what? If we can add those 2 or 3 players before the next round or the round after, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. We've got a great team. We've got a great core of a team. We've not got a big enough squad of that quality at the minute. And in all positions, we need to be as deep a squad as we are in centre mid. As Aitken gets through one-on-one. First shot's blocked. Keeper does really well again. He's had a good game, that goalkeeper. But into stoppage time, it is a 3-0 win on the road in Armenia. And we are certainly through to the second qualifying round. A really good start for our qualifying campaign. And that was a good win, lads. Well done. Let's go and have a quick look at how the others get on Thursday night. And then we'll go and plot when we're next going to be back. Well, both of our Irish colleagues doing well. 1-0 wins for Larne and Linfield in their first qualifying leg. But if we go to the staffing, let's finish with more good news and some big names as well. Stuart Downing has come in as a reserves coach for us, and he is a very good coach, a big upgrade in ability. We've also had a couple of others join as well. Sammy Klingon has signed a new deal as assistant manager. There are so many bits of good news. We've got Bonham in as a goalkeeping coach. We've got a couple of scouts in as well. Paul Cook being the most notable of them, former English EFL manager. There are so many positive things going at this football club. And while it will be a bit fragmented for a year or two, while we've got some pro, some semi-pro, and we're working up to the full ranks, this is a positive sign for Northern Irish football. 3 wins out of 3 for the Northern Irish sides. We're not even going to bother with a second leg. We will be back for either the second qualifying round or the third, depending on the level of opposition. I hope you're looking forward to that. I had to show you the Champions League music for the first time, but if you enjoyed hearing that theme tune in his save as much as me, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Hopefully we'll have some new signings in by the next one as well. Let me know in the comments where you think we still need to improve. And do you think we can win the title and back up our success despite starting the season against Larne and Linfield while playing in qualifiers? If you want to find out all the answers with me, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll of course be back for another qualifier soon. A big campaign for us in Northern Irish football. If we get through one more round, we are guaranteed group stage football in at least one of Europe's competitions. Before we find out which it is though, we've got big news in our other Save the Head coach. We will be back tomorrow for a job hunt or a transfer special, whichever it turns out to be. A start of a new season on the horizon there. But will we be moving clubs before it? Come and join me to find out before this returns in a couple of days' time. There's links in the eye above to the last episode of that one, the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the blog story too. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is always appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time as our Champions League qualifying run continues.